So, last thing we're going to talk about here, do some trailer talk. So, a number of trailers came out over the last week or so. None more controversial than old Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
And it's not like everyone's pissed off. Well, I mean, not many people are mad at what the storyline of this movie is. It's more of the look of Sonic, and especially that he's got teeth. Like, what's the big deal that he's got teeth? But I mean, some of the things in this trailer that are kind of different. Has Sonic always had fur or quills?
Well, he is a hedgehog.
Right.
So
I mean,
that's the whole point, but he's been a cartoon. So the way his spikes on the back are, those are essentially all the quills and the way they go, but he's a hedgehog, so yes.
he's an alien though, because he says in the trailer to James Marsden's character, "I'm here to help save your planet." And we know we know in the games he's from the planet Mobius. I think that's right, Mobius.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, other things in this trailer, the rings are not just to keep you alive, they're portals, which I think was only ever used like that in one Sonic game. Basically, the portals are like Doctor Strange's portals. He throws a ring, it expands and grows, you fall in it, and then boom, there you go. I did like, huh? Go for
I'm
it.
trying to figure out what people don't really like about it.
The look of Sonic. They're saying it's not true to the original Sonic.
How far back of the original are they going?
I mean, people are mad that his arms are blue. His arms should be the skin color.
Okay, my arms are blue. You're really throwing a fit over some arms. Now, I get it. His arms are blue. I mean, and it's supposed to be skin color, and then he's wearing gloves instead of his fur.
Well, isn't he wearing gloves in this one too?
No, that's his fur in this one.
Let me see if I can find a better photo that I'm looking at here.
Do I have the...
Oh, yeah, that is just hands. That's not gloves. You're right.
Yeah, so... I mean... The rest of it, though, his eyes don't go as far up like it does in the cartoon, but you gotta add some realistic features to it anyways.
Right.
I think it's well done.
I mean,
you're going from cartoon to realism, and when you're looking at it from a realistic perspective, he has to have fur. Okay, so yes, the way it's spiked back, it's gonna look like it's, the quills and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know they're actual quills because we see at least twice in the trailer, Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik picks up a quill, and James Marsden's character picks up a quill.
Right, which once again, alien or not, he's a hedgehog.
Very true.
They got quills. That's the whole point. So yes, that makes sense. You can't be pissed off at that. I can understand why they want it to be skin color so that it looks, and that might be why he looks a little weird, is because his arms aren't the same color as his chest. And it's not necessarily that it's skin color, it's just the fur is a different color. But how do you really translate the cartoon? Right. I mean, so in the cartoon, was his whole belly bare? Or did it have fur? And it was just a different color fur? I mean, it's all subjective material here. You don't know. You can't really say what it was or what it should be, because you can't depict it in the cartoon. The cartoon's just flat. It's 2D.
Exactly. I mean, some of the other things in the trailer we do know based off of one of the movie posters. It's based on near San Francisco, because there's a movie poster where he's sitting on the Golden Gate Bridge. But at the same time, that could be. It doesn't have to be near San Francisco. As shown in the trailer, he goes 760 miles an hour, which has been stated in the games that is Sonic's top speed. So he can basically run from... Because we do see at the beginning of the trailer, there is a sign that says, "Welcome to Green Hill," which is, Green Hill Zone from the original Sonic games.
Right, and like he said in the trailer, I mean, he's already walked 9 million steps.
Yeah, I forgot about that. You're right. And he's
Yeah,
got all those burnt out shoes.
yeah, I'm surprised people aren't pissed off that his shoes aren't the same either. Was it you want them with Velcro? Really?
Like, he's got all them burnt out shoes. Why does he keep his shoes? Throw away them when you're done. Anyways, I mean, another thing people are mad about is how Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik looks. Now, we don't know the time frame of this. Here's the thing. We see Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik when he shows up to work with the military. And yeah, he doesn't look exactly like the Dr. Robotnik we know. But at the end of the trailer, they flash to one quick shot of a bald, big mustached Dr. Robotnik. Now, it's only from like the chest up, so we don't see if he gets fat or not. But that's another thing. Everyone's like, Dr. Robotnik's supposed to have the big belly.
Here's my thing with that. Dr. Robotnik isn't Sonic's full arch nemesis in the beginning of the movie. Once he becomes the full arch nemesis, something must have happened that, happens in the movie. And now he is the one that we know.
Wait,
the bald, the mustache, everything else.
I didn't think of it like that. Because Sonic says, I'm coming to save your planet. But save it from what? Is the question.
Exactly.
Save it from what? And then he does he runs really fast, does the sonic boom, power goes out, there's this big old thing, the military's got to figure out what caused it, Dr. Robotnik comes to help the military, and then he's trying to catch Sonic and it turns him crazy. Or more crazy than his character is when he first shows up.
Something, and he blames Sonic for it, and next thing you know, all he wants to do is catch Sonic. Or just because he couldn't catch him, it, like you said, turns him crazy. I mean, it's the movie, so it has to be somewhat origin based.
Mm-hmm. And the last little thing here, when we see the shot of Robotnik looking more like Robotnik, there's a bunch of mushrooms around him, which could be Mushroom Hill Zone. Is that on Mobius? Do they go and travel to Mobius by the end of this movie?
It could be.
Because that's the other thing. It's like
we were talking portals. So there's a possibility that
now
whatever's going on. I mean, because there's a poster where he's going through one of the rings.
Oh no, we see it in the trailer. There's two people fall off the big building. He throws down a ring. They fall through the ring. They're safe. Now here's one thing: that last shot of Robotnik. We don't know if there's going to be a sequel. We don't know that yet. But the last shot of Robotnik, could that be their post-credits scene, or something from their post-credits scene, where it's like, hey, Robotnik's now on where Robotnik's now on Mobius, but like they showed us half a second. Could this be like a 1 minute post-credit scene where we've learned that Sonic's gone back to Mobius and Robotnik has gone there too? Because Robotnik in this scene, or whatever the shot is, he's around the mushrooms and he's got one of the quills. Could that be like the post-credit scene?
Maybe he wants the power. Maybe he goes crazy and wants the power from that Sonic has.
Right.
Now, I just sent you a picture. So this is an illustrated. This isn't like the CGI type, but this is what he would look like if he followed the traditional look.
Here, let me pull it up on the screen so the people watching can actually see it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can keep talking and I'll pull it up here in a second.
Yeah, no, so there isn't too much difference here, except for now he has a cartoonish smile, which you can't do that. You got to keep it realistic, so that'll stay on the left. I don't know about doing the eyes the same. They have to keep it realistic, so the eyes would be the same, but there's really not that much difference between the two.
I mean, when you look at it, I got the image up now. When you look at it, like you stated, the eyes are larger, and the eyes kind of connect together.
But that's the cartoon portion of it.
And then in the cartoon version, the mouth area is wider. And then, of course, the only other big difference is the arms and the hands.
And there really isn't a big difference there, except for it's a color and they're not wearing gloves. That's it.
I mean, what do
So
they want? Him to look a little meaner?
I don't know. They just can't do it cartoonish.
Now,
They cannot keep it cartoonish. So they can't do the eyes connecting. They have to make him more realistic. Like he is an animal that walks on 2 feet and talks.
exactly. Now, we did learn, though. Let me find this tweet here. So, it is... Let me read the tweet verbatim. So, Jeff Fowler, who was the director of this movie, took to Twitter and stated the following. Thank you for the support and the criticism. The message is loud and clear. You aren't happy with the design and you want changes. It's going to happen. Everyone at Paramount and Sega are fully committed to making this character the best he can be. Hashtag Sonic movie. Hashtag gotta fix it fast. Yes, gotta fix it fast. This movie comes out November.
Yep.
Now, what was that one movie with... Hold on. With... who was it? Now I can't find this.
Well, while you're looking for that, I think they can fix it fast. This is the animated portion of it.
Exactly.
That is just superimposed on the rest of it. It's not like they have to reshoot anything. They're still going to use the same wireframe skeletons for all the movement, everything. So all they got to do is just adjust the model to fit what they want or the color. That's about it. Maybe they'll round his face off a little bit. Maybe they'll make his eyes just a little bit bigger. The biggest thing is, hey, just change his arms to white and give him some gloves.
Now, I mean, if you remember, Kevin Spacey was supposed to be in a movie in 2017. There was some controversy about Kevin Spacey. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah.
The movie was All the Money in the World. Literally, 3 or 4 weeks before the movie was supposed to come out, the director, Ridley Scott, basically stated, we're taking him out, we're going to reshoot the scenes that he's in with a new actor, and you're never going to know the difference. So if they can do that with the actor, where they had to reshoot stuff and make it all look perfect and this and that, with that quickly, they've got, what is it, May, June, July, August, September, October, 6 months to reanimate Sonic.
Yeah. And they already have the model. All they're doing is shifting the model itself.
Exactly.
And models aren't full pieces together, they're parts.
Right.
So they don't necessarily have to change the body at all. With the body, all they're changing is color. So that is just changing the texture portion of it to a different color, painting it a different color. And then the face, that's a separate model portion of that. And even that could be in multiple pieces. And so they just really have to adjust a few things on there.
And one other little thing, you got to think 6 months out, it's not like the movie's fully done and rendered out. They probably haven't fully rendered it, so they haven't lost all that time. They've just rendered what they needed for the trailer, probably.
Yep.
But talking some other trailers, next week we've got on the 10th, Detective Pikachu. I already know that I'm taking my kids opening weekend to go see it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going as well.
And
kids are no kids.
It's getting
Go.
more than positive, like more positive than negative reviews. I've seen a couple negative reviews of, oh, it's just Pokemon movie. You know, the snobby Hollywood reporters are like, nah, this isn't my thing, da-da-da. But
I just watched the Pokemon movie just the other day. I introduced my daughter to the whole Pokemon movie. I mean, she's seen some Pokemon shows, but I just introduced her to the movie. Granted, I really hated when he had the hallucination because I still don't think it was actually Pikachu talking, but
you're talking like the original Pokemon movie, or like the remake Pikachu I Choose You?
The I Choose You one, where it was kind of like a precursor to him actually going to the local gyms.
So without the one without Brock and Misty that just came out recently.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But I mean, here's my question to you. They're doing Detective Pikachu instead of the Ash Ketchum story. Do you think they should have went the Ash route? Or do you think this was the better route to go? Because if you go the Ash route, you either have to really quickly spin through that story to go through the 8 gyms and the Pokemon League, or you have to commit to 9 movies.
I say this is the best route because it's a whole fresh take that will attract not just the young Pokemon generation and the old nostalgic generation, but it's going to attract people that never touched any Pokemon, that
Right.
didn't even watch the cartoons. Because really, the only reason you're going to watch Pokemon now is either you have kids or you just want to see it for nostalgic purposes. Hey, I watched it. They came out with this movie, and it's supposed to be kind of like a somewhat remake of the Ash Ketchum story. So let me go see it. This route, it's more of a 20s to 40s, so that the 20-year range right there. I think that's the audience they're going for. I mean, you got Deadpool as Pikachu. That's always
Right.
what he's going to be known as, Deadpool.
And I mean,
And
as of right
go
now,
ahead.
it's got a 70% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is not bad for early previews of the movie. And I don't know if you ever heard of the man Gary Whitta, who wrote the script for Star Wars Rogue One. He stated, because he was on the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show Wednesday, he stated that he had a meeting with Legendary Productions. He couldn't state what the meeting was for, but while he was there, they were doing a special early screening of Detective Pikachu for families. He said every person that he saw come out of that early screening were just raving about how much they loved the movie, from the kids that were there to the adults.
And if they do it right, they're going to be like every other movie that's come out where they have adult jokes that just go right over the kids' heads
Right.
to have the more adult-oriented comedy and a lot of the kid-oriented comedy. And this is the perfect opportunity to take and show people what Pokemon would look like in the real world, how they were in, the new Ash Ketchum movie. With that storyline, it covered, the dailies, how most Pokemon live amongst everybody and they work together, so on and so forth. And then you have the trainers. Well, this is a perfect example of it because you see these Pokemon in daily activities with the human.
Exactly. And I mean,
And
go for it.
and I think it's a great way to look at it. You're not looking at, oh, we're training, we're battling. No,
Right.
you're just, this is a different take on what Pokemon is.
Now, my big question is, I forget the main character's name in the movie, but how is he the only person basically in the world that we know of so far that can understand this Pikachu and only this Pikachu? I guess they're going to have to address that in the movie, I would assume.
Because even Pikachu's like, what the hell? You can hear me?
Exactly. And then he's like, we got to team up. I can talk to the Pokemon. You can talk to humans. We can talk to each other. It's very interesting. Like, I'm interested. It's getting pretty good reviews. I know IGN gave it an 8 out of 10. They're stating that it's... Now, you can't really compare because there's never been a great video game movie. But they're saying that this is probably the best movie based off of a video game franchise that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
But going forward, we've also got coming out on the same day is Tolkien. And this is based off of J.R.R. Tolkien, right?
Yeah, so it seems that everybody's going the route of let's do a movie on an author that has made a massive impact. And we all know Tolkien movies and well, books to begin with, and then the movies.
Right. Lord of the
And
Rings.
exactly. And it's taken the story of how he in the war, this is pretty much what got him through it, and that's my take from the trailers and what they're talking about, and how uh, Lord of the Rings came to be, how Middle Earth came to be.
I like
And
I like the line
go
in the
on.
trailer when he's sitting with Lily Collins' character, and he's like, basically, he's like, I've created my own language. I've written these stories and adventures. She's like, well, tell me a story in any language you want to say. And it's all the like, because in the stories of Lord of the Rings, different characters speak different languages.
And he created all of that.
Yep.
So I'm really looking forward to this one because I think this one, well, I mean, from the trailers, looks way better than the other ones. Because I mean, you had the one. What was the author for Winnie the Pooh? Why do I forgot his name? But the
Oh, the one about the guy that wrote the story, and then his son Christopher Robin became famous and all that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It didn't really have a big
Yes,
theatrical release though, so it wasn't really widely known.
right. And there's another one out there, and I forgot what it was. Um, but I'm definitely looking forward to this one as well. I don't think with all the other bigger releases coming out that I'm gonna go see this one in the theaters, but
Yeah,
it's a
probably
definite
not.
one to keep an eye out on and see what kind of reviews it gets.
I
Um,
agree too. There's too many bigger movies like like Endgame, Detective
mhm.
Pikachu on the same night. You got Aladdin coming out like a week, 2 weeks later. So I think this movie may get lost in the shuffle. What it does remind me of a little bit from the trailers is what was that one movie with Eddie Redmayne? Was it yeah, The Theory of Everything, where he played Stephen Hawking. Kind of gives me the same
Okay,
vibe of that movie. Like story wise and the way it's all filmed and put together.
I can see that.
But speaking of Aladdin, that movie's coming out on the 24th, and you think it's, there's been a lot of backlash from the fans saying, oh, Genie doesn't look good. Why is this changed to I think it's more of you just got to go see it, and I think it may do better, or at least the movie itself may be better than people are expecting.
Well, from the full trailer that they released, because at first we only had the teasers,
Right.
and you got only a glimpse of Will Smith's portrayal of Genie, both in human form and genie form,
Mm-hmm.
and you got a glimpse of Jafar, Aladdin, the princess. But when you get the full trailer, there's two trailers. The most recent one, which is the one that you just have right there,
Mm-hmm.
that's the one that shows the magic carpet ride. It shows a little bit more about the talk of him wanting to be a prince, and you get to really get a feel of Will Smith's portrayal of Aladdin. And personally, I think he's doing a great job
Oh,
from what
yeah.
we see. But you can't compare him to Robin Williams. A, Robin Williams didn't do a live action, so it's a different format, and so the mannerisms, the gestures, everything, it's going to be different in a cartoon than it is in the live action.
Right.
And Robin Williams, while he was great at the comedy and everything else, he was amazing in the voice booth when it came to voiceovers. That was his. He was big in that, just because he could be 20 different characters all
And
at the same time.
right. And I mean, when people were first freaking out, oh my God, the genie's not even blue. It's like, you got to remember, there's the scene when they're dancing through the streets. Genie's got to look as human as possible to introduce Aladdin or Al or Ali, whatever he calls him right then. I think it's Ali.
Alibaba,
Yeah, Prince
Prince
Ali
Ali.
Ababa.
There you go.
He's, got to look human to introduce him to the Sultan. Because you can't have this blue guy walk up to the Sultan and be like, well, who the hell's this blue guy and this guy coming,
Does nobody remember that Genie turns into this white dude in the movie?
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. When he's introduced, when they're singing through the
Yeah.
city, through Agrabah, and he introduces him and says, hey, this is Prince Ali Ababa. When he flies in on the magic carpet, and so. And then we've also seen in the trailers, there looks like there may be some new scenes where they're like at some gathering or some palace party, and Genie is there with him, having to blend in. So
Hmm.
I say give it a shot. I'm probably going to go see it, not opening weekend because I'm going to be out of town that weekend. I'll probably go see it the next or the weekend after that. I'll see it within the first couple of weeks it comes out.
Yeah. Like, and I still got to reference back. Genie, when the prince's caravan came in that he created, were Apu's the
Right.
elephant, um, and the genie was big white dude. He was one of the ladies. He was a fat lady in one of the windows. Like, he transformed into different human
Forms.
versions of himself.
Yeah.
and he turns into the old dude. I mean, there's a lot of things that he does, so you cannot rag on him for that. Plus, when he's talking in the trailer to Aladdin, you have, I mean, I think so far the acting looked great. The music that we hear and the way it's being portrayed, he's bringing his own style to it. He's bringing the Fresh Prince. He's bringing Switch. He's bringing uh, Wild West. You know, he's bringing all these different styles that he could do into this, and that's why I think he's the perfect choice, because he's done so many roles that are so different from each other. And being a comedian in general, being able to have that, I think he's a great part for it.
And when you look at the character of Genie, the characters we've learned in the movies, pretends to be different people all the time. So like you're saying, with Will Smith having done so many different characters through his career, he knows how to play different characters per se. So it's like, I think also the other thing is, do we really want him to try and just copy the Robin Williams character? Do you want him to try and sound the same, act the same as that character we saw on screen? No. You want him to bring his own fresh style to it, so that way we can go, oh wow, this was good in similar ways, the movie overall, but at the same time, I like these little new things that they did do.
And you know what that reminds me of? That goes back to the same thing that we have with the Batman stuff. So with the Batman stuff, you have the Michael Keaton movies, then you have the Christian Bale movies, and then you have, you know, the different Jokers. And people saying, no, this Joker, you'll never be able to beat him, or you'll never be able to be the Jack Nicholson. And like, but they're two different types of characters as well. They're two different types of Jokers.
So the
They're
late
two different
90s
types of Batmans.
So the late 90s Batman movies didn't do nothing for you?
No, I like the late
you,
90s,
sk- you skipped right over George Clooney and Val Kilmer.
They're not part of the debate. Nobody brings them up, but they didn't have the Joker.
Very true.
So it's completely different. Like, I liked Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face because it fit a different style. I definitely liked Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
Oh, he was perfect as Riddler.
Exactly. He made that movie. Like, that's what it was, and Val Kilmer wasn't fat.
Now, I will say Arnold Schwarzenegger was a little meh as Mr. Freeze. Could have been better.
Mr. Freeze should have been a twig. They should have gotten like Snoop Dogg.
Uma Thurman was perfect as Poison Ivy, though. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
She was a perfect Poison Ivy.
Oh, yeah. She looks so different now.
But the last trailer you did want to talk about was John Wick 3. It was called Parabella. Comes out on May 17th. I've only seen the first one.
Shame on you, man. This is like some of the best. You know, this is what made Keanu Reeves again. We
resurrected his career.
We talked about the whole movie jail that happened with him being in movie jail for rejecting Speed 2.
Right.
And nobody would take him. Even doing The Matrix didn't get him out of Fox movie jail. So he really didn't want to do movies. I mean, this guy makes a living just doing the custom bikes. Like, he owns his own chopper's shop and makes his own custom bikes that are pretty badass. And he doesn't need to be doing movies. He's one of the most down-to-earth people. Doesn't flaunt his money, anything like that. So what's he need?
So the storyline for John Wick 3, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't it like there's like a $15 million bounty on him, and he's got to try and get out of New York?
It's a $14 million dollar bounty on him. So there's something that happens at the end of 2. Since you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it.
Just spoil it. I don't care.
Okay. So at the end of 2, there's rules. When you go into this hotel, which is for the assassins, that is a neutral ground. No matter what beef you have with anybody, you cannot take a contract in. You cannot fulfill a contract in there. You cannot kill anybody in there. It is neutral ground. should you do that, you have put a bounty on your head.
Gotcha.
And even though he was really close with the manager or the owner of the hotel, he still did it. And the guy gives him a head start out of courtesy of being, the best assassin and then being, I guess you could say, friends. But that's where this plays in. Now he's on the run and everybody's after him, but he is the best assassin.
Okay, that
So
makes
now
sense.
we're going to see all the other assassins team up. Not necessarily team up, but they want the bounty, so they're going to go after him.
Right. And then I know joining the cast is Halle Berry.
That was interesting.
So that should be a good addition.
I haven't seen her in anything recently. I mean, that I've watched. So it's going to be nice to see how she adds to the series.
Let's see. Let me go to her IMDb. I'll tell you what she's done recently.
And I'm hoping that this isn't going to end at a trilogy. Even Keanu Reeves said he'll continue doing these as long as people want them, because he loves the John Wick character.
So she was in The Kingsman, Golden Circle, 2017.
I still haven't seen that.
Have you seen the first Kingsman?
I did.
Yeah, because I've only seen wait. There's 3 Kingsmen, right? Or is there only 2?
Yes. 3, I want to say.
Okay, then I've only seen the first 2.
Okay.
She was in that. She was in a couple other lower budget films. The last, other than Kingsman and a Kevin Hart documentary in 2016, the last big thing she did was X-Men Days of Future Past in 2014. She hasn't been doing much.
Yeah. I'm wondering why she maybe somebody reached out to her for a part in this.
Well, she's got John Wick 3, 2019. Then she's going to be in 2 other movies that don't have release windows yet. One's called Bruised, which is in pre-production, and another movie that has been announced called Jagged Edge. We'll see. Maybe she's going to make a comeback. Or maybe it was just like, she got the itch again. Let me attach myself to a couple projects and go from there.
Yeah. That's probably the case. And when's this come out?
John Wick?
So the 17th.
Yeah.
May 17th. Okay, so 2 weeks. And then we have Aladdin the following week. And then just next Friday we have Detective Pikachu and Tolkien. And then, of course, Sonic's still slated for November 8th.
November 8th, and I think they said even though they're going to redo Sonic, or however they call fixing him, I don't think they're planning on changing that release date.
Okay.
Which I wouldn't push it back, because if you push it back 2 weeks, then you're going up against Frozen 2, and if you push it back a month, you're going up against Star Wars.
Yeah, you can't win against those two.
And it'll die against both.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to die anyways, because a lot of people will probably be like, I don't want to spend to go see, because if people have kids, they're probably going to wait and go see Frozen with their kids instead of going to the theaters to see Sonic. Because that's probably what will happen with me. I won't pay to go see Sonic in theaters. I'll just bootleg it at home and go see Frozen in theaters.
Yeah, for real though, you got better kid movies coming out. That's probably what you're going to see. And this doesn't look necessarily geared towards kids anyway, so that's the other problem.
Maybe a little for the kids that know Sonic, but how many kids these days really know Sonic is my question. I mean, my kids do, because apparently they found the old Sonic cartoons on Netflix, but...
Yeah. I don't know. I want to see it, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to go see it.
Exactly.